Hey everyone, it's Peter with the Garden Family, and I wanted to show you how we start our tomatoes. In this video, I'll show you the methods we use, starting from seed, and then we'll pot up our seedlings into these bigger pots for eventual planting in the garden. So the things you're going to need for this project are a seed starting or good quality potting mix, some small containers with lids. We really like these to-go containers. You can either save them throughout the year or you can purchase them. We'll put a link in the description. The tomato seeds you want to plant, labels and a permanent marker, and for potting up, a larger container to pot up your tomato plants in. For faster germination, a seedling heat mat is also nice to have. So planting the tomatoes is very simple. We're just going to fill one of these to-go containers with our potting or seed starting mix. So this mix is pre-moistened, but I'm just going to get it a little bit more wet. Now you do need to be careful because there's no drainage holes on the bottom, so you don't want to oversaturate it. I'm going to make my labels. In this case, I am planting a midnight snack hybrid cherry tomato, as well as a super tasty hybrid slicing tomato. And I like to lay the labels down this way because obviously they're not going to fit sticking up once the humidity dome is on there. So I've got my little tomato seeds here. In this case, I'm going to put 4 of these midnight snack tomatoes. And I'm just making a small indentation about 1/4 of an inch deep. And I'm going to place 1 seed in each hole. I want 1 to 2 of these tomatoes. I found it better to plant them 1 in each hole. That way it's easier when you are separating them out into their bigger containers, which you'll see next. In this case, I actually only have 1 seed left of this super tasty variety, so hopefully it germinates. So here's just an up close of those little indents I just made with the pen, and our little tomato seeds, 1 in each hole, is there, and our labels are just laid down. So after, I'm just going to fold that potting mix back over the seed. I want to make sure you get good contact with the seed starting mix. And I'm just going to put just a little bit more water right in there. But again, not too much because there's no drainage holes on the bottom. I'll put the humidity dome that conveniently comes with these to-go containers over the top. And I'm going to place this onto my heat mat. It should see germination in about 7 days. With the humidity dome in place, you should not need to water this at all. As soon as you see germination, like we see with this Thai basil here, you're going to want to remove the humidity dome to prevent damping off of the seedlings. So a couple weeks later, you're going to have a tray that looks like this with a bunch of little tomato seedlings. These ones have been under grow lights and they now have their first set of true leaves, and not just the little cotyledons, which are the 2 leaves that you initially see right when your seed sprouts. So these guys are now ready to upgrade to a bigger container, which they likely will stay in until I plant them in the ground. So we'll pot up these black Krim heirloom tomatoes, which if I had to pick is my favorite tasting tomato. I'm going to create a few more labels. 1 per plant. I'm just going to fill these with our potting mix. They can be lightly filled at first. Next, I'm going to just create a hole where the seedling is going to go. 1 seedling per pot, right in the middle. And now I'm going to prick out these seedlings from their starter tray. So I will just create a little opening between the two rows here. I'm just using one of the labels in this case. I'm going to see if I can pull that guy out. Now if you need to hold on to these seedlings, you should hold on to them by the cotyledon, the young leaves that come right when they germinate. You don't want to hold on to the stem because you could damage the stem. So I'm going to just carefully tease these apart. So now that I have them separated, I'm just going to look. In this case, I have a decent amount of soil, so I need to make this hole bigger for this guy. It's going to come here. And I will just gently compact the potting mix around the seedling. Again, I'm picking this up by the cotyledon, not the stem, because that's a temporary leaf. It's going to go away, whereas the stem is going to be with that plant forever. Place it into that hole, and then I'm going to gather the potting mix up around the plant and firm it down. Last step is just to water them. I like to bottom water them, so I'm going to just fill this tray up with about 1 inch of water. We'll leave these in here for about 10 minutes to let the water just soak up into the pot, and then we'll take them out of the water. You don't want them sitting in any sort of water. These seedlings were started 2 weeks ago, and we have about a month before they're going to go in the ground. We generally like to start our tomato seedlings about 6 weeks before the planned planting date. If this video is helpful, give us a like, and we'd love to hear how you start your tomatoes. Let us know in the comments below. I'm going to get to work potting the rest of these up. Happy gardening, everyone.